Sasha Banks reportedly told WWE, after everything that we've discussed already, has reportedly told WWE she won't be back to work next week. Why would she? Why would she come back to work when WWE had told her to take a couple of weeks off to think about what she said and how she feels and what WWE thought was a heat of the moment decision? And we discussed yesterday on part 2 that it was not a heat of the moment decision. This is a moment that has been building over the last 4 years. The woman wants to go away. Do you respect Sasha Banks enough to force her to come back to work when she don't want to come back to work? When she's unhappy? Let the woman deal with whatever she's dealing with. Let her come to a rash decision, a smart decision on what she wants to do with her life next. Don't force her to come back when she's feeling the way she's feeling right now to do literally nothing with her. That's not going to help WWE's cause in calming this woman down. She reportedly told WWE she won't be back to work next week. Banks and Bayley reportedly made quite a show around WrestleMania weekend. Brad Shepard is reporting that a source in the company told him that Banks informed WWE that she wouldn't be back next week. Why would she? Bayley went on social media and kind of just spoke about the superstar shakeup, and it's something that we could all, as fans, kind of agree with, and I'm sure Sasha Banks agrees with it as well. She tweeted out, Raw, SmackDown, NXT. I've been all over the place. Does it even really matter? The answer is no. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter where you end up. If you're Bayley and Sasha Banks, nothing will change. The more things change, the more your surroundings and colleagues change, the more the faces in the locker room change on a week-to-week basis, the more they stay the same. Nothing will change for these two. The only thing that needs to change as far as the shakeup is exactly what I've been proclaiming needs to be changed for the last 3 years. The only thing that needs to change with these shows is the way they fucking go into these shows creatively. The things that need to change are the faces in creative. You all know that. No matter who is there, everything will remain the same with Sasha Banks and Bayley. According to a source in WWE, Banks told someone in the company she would not be coming in next week, and they were unable to convince her otherwise at the time of the conversation. Brett Shepard says that he'll have more on this story, which hasn't been reported on in the coming weeks. Next week is the Superstar Shakeup. So to miss that show might not be the best thing for Sasha Banks. This could be another indication of how things are between Banks and WWE. Hopefully, they can work out something. I hope that they don't. In the meantime, Sasha isn't happy in WWE, and that does not appear to be changing at all. I don't understand why you would force this woman back to work in the condition that she's in right now. And we discussed everything that we needed to really discuss on part 2 of Off the Script yesterday. I laid it out in detail. I accomplished what I wanted to accomplish yesterday with Off the Script. I wanted to attack this situation that I'm very passionate about because I know I've been in Sasha Banks' situation. You've been in Sasha Banks' situation. Could you go about it in a different way? Could she have gone about it in a more professional way? Yes, of course. But this has been building for 4 years. Okay? You make decisions at the time you make them. We don't know what this woman is feeling. Maybe in her mind, this was the right way to go about it. Because she's tried everything else. We don't know. We really don't know. We would have to be in her shoes to understand how she's genuinely feeling. Maybe that was the right decision in her mind and the right decision from the support of her husband. The right decision to do. We won't know. We will never know. But 4 years that this woman has been a fucking sleeping volcano for 4 years. I mapped out everything. And what I accomplished yesterday, I give myself 2 thumbs up with. Because you know why? I want to sit here, with that video especially, I want to sit here and I want to lay out everything to a point where you're watching me and I want you to say, you know what? JD is right. I want you to watch me and I want to make it very difficult for you to disagree with what I'm telling you in this video. And I think I did that very well. Documenting everything that this woman's been through for the last 4 years, how she's been thrown under the bus, how everybody seems to be passing her by, to the fact that WWE is a certain type of woman that they push, and Sasha is not that stereotypical blonde that WWE loves to be in bed with. Nobody else in the community is going to say what I said in that video. Nobody else is going to dance. You know, they'll dance around the topic, but they'll never outwardly say what needs to be said. They'll walk on eggshells. They'll be afraid to say what I said in that video. And you know what? That's why I don't respect those other people in the community. Because they don't bring the subjects to the table that really are an issue in WWE. Look at what's going on right now with WWE television. You got Becky Lynch. Great. Becky Lynch is doing her thing. Ronda Rousey came in, did what she needed to do for the women's evolution. Fantastic. Without Ronda and her presence and what she brought to the table, we wouldn't even be where we are right now with the women's evolution. But you got to show respect for who started everything, and Sasha is the flag bearer for everything that got started. Bayley as well. Bayley as well. And WWE, and I mean this wholeheartedly, WWE has taken everything that Bayley and Sasha Banks has done, and they've kind of pushed it to the side. And everything that is the women's evolution right now in WWE or wherever WWE, makes their mark as far as women's wrestling go. Everything that they do and everything that they try to tell you and everything that they try to push, underneath all of that has always been the diva. It doesn't matter what is going on right now. Underneath everything, you might see the exterior of a women's division right now that you can firmly get behind with the talents of a Ruby Riott, an Ember Moon, and a Sasha Banks, and an Asuka, and a Becky Lynch, everybody else that you feel. Kairi Sane, Io Shirai, Candice LeRae, Bianca Belair. Yeah, it's exciting. Toni Storm, Viper, Ginny. All these talented women that they have. All these talented females that WWE has. It's great. On the exterior, they give you the thought of a women's movement. Pro wrestling, as far as the female go, is on the rise. But underneath all of that, always remained and will always be WWE's mentality of diva. Because no matter how good you are, no matter how great you could be as far as presenting women's wrestling, WWE will always go with a Lacey Evans. WWE will always go with a Carmella. WWE will always go with a Charlotte Flair. WWE will always go with an Alexa Bliss. And that is WWE's stereotype. That is the stereotypical female that WWE will always get a hard-on for. And it's disgusting. It truly is disgusting. Now, outside Charlotte Flair, none of those women have any in-ring talent. All they have is looks. They're all cheaply manufactured. They're not real. Sasha Banks is everything that is not those women. She is everything that is completely opposite of those women. And that's why she's not where she should be in WWE. And I'm sure she knows that. I'm sure she knows that. This is what we discussed yesterday. I hold no punches in telling you what I watch on television. And it's happened. It's happened. All you have to do is go watch SmackDown Live and Monday Night Raw. Look at the women that have been pushed in the last year and a half. Alexa Bliss has been champion on Monday Night Raw. She got 2 cracks at Ronda Rousey. Before Sasha Banks, Carmella had 1 title reign longer than all 4 of Sasha's combined. That in itself is fucking depressing. That in itself is so fucking sad. I can't help but laugh because it's pathetic. It is absolutely pathetic. Nia Jax was in the main event more than Sasha Banks was in all of 2018, while Sasha fought the Riot Squad up and down Raw for 52 weeks out of the calendar year. WWE finally gave Ronda Sasha Banks in a last-ditch effort to make the Royal Rumble card seem special. And that feud and that match was built in 4 weeks with no planning, no real plan at all. It's as if it was forced. It's as if WWE realized, oh, we still have Sasha Banks employed. Let's do that. This woman has been shafted time and time and time again, and people still want to call her an entitled bitch. And I mentioned yesterday, if you call her an entitled bitch, then sign me the fuck up. That's not entitled. She's entitled to go out there and prove that she's the fucking best in the world, and WWE is not allowing her to do that because of their diva mentality. Looks are more important than what Sasha Banks brings to the table in WWE. It's not fair. It is not fair at all. This woman is passionate. This woman wants to be the best in the world, and WWE is locking her down, suppressing her ability. They do not want her to go out there and prove that she's the best in the world because they got Alexa. She can't be better than Alexa or Charlotte or Lacey Evans even. It's disgusting. It is absolutely disgusting. I'm very happy with what I said yesterday. More has developed as the hours went on. As soon as that video went up, more information came up. Not just this story that she don't want to come back to work, which I do not even blame her. I do not even blame her. There was a report that Sasha and Bayley performed public protests over losing the women's tag team titles at WrestleMania. It appears that they were so unhappy about losing the women's tag team titles that they staged public protests. Now, I don't know how true this is. There's no photographs or videos of them throwing little childish tantrums at WrestleMania or in the hotel room or in the hotel hallways, which was reported by Ryan Satin of Pro Wrestling Sheet. Sasha tried to dumb these reports by posting pictures of them congratulating the Iconics after they won. And Sasha and Bayley were out, I believe, during the main event, taking selfies, watching Becky, Charlotte, and Ronda go at it in the first women's main event. Everything but a childish tantrum via these pictures. We don't know. We'll never know. It's just bullshit that is going to get the trolls on social media talking. We don't know. Ryan Satin reported that Bayley and Banks were seen laying in front of their hotel room as well as on the floor in the locker room WrestleMania Sunday. They were not making it a secret at all that they were upset about their Mania match and what went down with them losing. Heard from a few sources now saying Sasha Banks and Bayley were laying on the floor of the locker room on Sunday and back at the hotel in one of their rooms, loudly making it known that they weren't happy about losing the tag team titles. WrestleVotes was also able to confirm Ryan Satin's report. It seems like the Boss and Hug connection and their efforts to stage a protest was unsuccessful because they still lost the tag team titles. Depending on how big of a scene they caused, this could be a really bad deal for them. That certainly seems like they didn't try and hide their feelings around everyone who was there at WrestleMania. WrestleVote says it could be a really bad deal for them. How worse can it fucking get? How worse can it be? They probably are at a point right now where they've done and tried everything that they could. They've expressed themselves in every which way that they could, and no one will listen. No one will listen. And they felt like, why not? Why not go all the way with it and just say, fuck the system. I can't do it anymore. They could have went about it in a better way, but they did try and go about it in a better way. They did try and discuss and express their feelings and emotions towards what they want and how they want better for themselves. No one will listen. Whether that is a build-up of Sasha's previous social media acts and previous comments on a Sam Roberts podcast or a podcast here, Sasha has always come off in this cryptic way. Sasha has always expressed herself openly about how Raw is chaotic and how she really don't like being there. How she would love to be back down in NXT. She's always come off in a way that she isn't afraid to voice her opinions on anything that she doesn't like. Maybe this is WWE's way of punishing her without really bringing everything that she's done to the spotlight. Maybe they're punishing her kind of secretly for everything that she's done. We don't know. We don't know. But it seems to be a buildup of Sasha's previous acts, and WWE's taking notice of this. Bayley is there. Bayley really doesn't act that way on social media. Bayley seems to be punished for just being associated with Sasha Banks. But WWE took the titles off of Bayley and Sasha Banks unfairly because from reports, they are upset because they were promised a long run with the tag team titles, and WWE gave them just an hour before the show and told them, listen, you're losing the titles to the Iconics tonight at WrestleMania. I would be upset at that too. If I'm promised something and then you go and change it just an hour before WrestleMania goes live, I would be upset too. Yes, they could have gone about it in a better way, but what else could they possibly do? They feel like they hit a wall. They feel like everything is just fucking crumbling down on top of them. Why the fuck not? Rusev possibly throws shade at Sasha Banks on Twitter. Now, Becky Lynch apparently went out there and tweeted to Sasha Banks, and she simply stated, "Fight me. Fight me." Now, for Becky Lynch to go out there on social media, I found this very interesting. Becky Lynch goes out there on social media, I'm assuming against WWE's orders, because Becky and Sasha have nothing to do with each other. They're not even on the same brand. Well, I guess you can say that they're on the same brand because Becky is the Raw Women's Champion. But regardless of that, Becky went about it in her own way, and I'm sure tweeted on her own volition, "Fight me." Now, what does this mean? What does this mean? I looked at this as a way of Becky standing up for Sasha. Becky backing Sasha, knowing what Sasha brings to the table, genuinely feeling bad about her friend and how she's feeling and how she's being treated. Then the stories of all the temper tantrums and the childish antics in the locker room and in the hotel came out. And it kind of painted Sasha and Bayley in a bad light to a point where everybody was kind of with them as far as how they were feeling. And then the reports of their temper tantrum came out. And then everybody kind of turned the other way, saying she deserves to be treated the way she's treated because of how she acts. She's childish. She's an entitled bitch. But everybody before all these reports came out were clearly for Sasha Banks. She didn't really do herself any favors with the reports that Ryan Satin put out there with the temper tantrum. So Becky taking it upon herself, going against WWE management and tweeting Sasha on her own, it kind of stood out to me as a way that Becky was for Sasha and what she was doing. Then the reports came out, and to each his own as far as opinion goes there. Rusev didn't hide his opinion. Botchmaster is unhappy. Be gone. Fans immediately called Lana out for hacking her husband's profile. After all, she would have a much bigger bone to pick with Sasha Banks than Rusev. It is still very interesting to see Rusev send that out, and whoever it came from in the Rusev Day camp, we don't know. We really don't know. Now, we don't know who Rusev is talking about. He could be talking about Lana for all we know. We don't know. We don't know. Again, more cryptic tweets that need to be decoded. We don't know what he's talking about, but everybody is assuming that it's Sasha Banks because everybody apparently calls her Botchmaster, or she botches herself in every match that she's in. Whatever. I still know the value that Sasha Banks brings to the table in WWE. Speaking of social media, Sasha Banks changes her social media profiles in a cryptic manner. Banks unfollowed WWE and Vince McMahon on Twitter. She also alerted both her Instagram and Twitter descriptions, or altered rather. She also altered both of her Instagram and Twitter descriptions to remove all references to her current employer. To make matters even more interesting, Sasha Banks changed her bios to display some rather cryptic phrases in the process. Her Instagram bio now says she remembered who she was and changed the game. #legitboss, #bank on it, Boston, Orlando. Meanwhile, her Twitter bio says Jeremiah 2911. She remembered who she was and the game changed. Underground legend still loading. It's very interesting how Sasha Banks said that she's an underground legend still loading. And the line about remembering who she was is pretty intriguing as well. Also, in case you don't have the Bible memorized, I don't know who the fuck would, that particular verse is about future plans. It actually really reads, if you go to the Bible, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not harm you, plans to give you hope and a future." Very interesting. We'll have to wait and see what she decides to do, but Sasha Banks' future might not include WWE for that much longer if she does indeed walk away. She could always change her mind, or WWE could just not let Sasha Banks out of her contract, which I know that they will not. They will not do that. She wasn't happy after WrestleMania, and I don't see that changing anytime soon. No matter what WWE does, no matter what WWE promises her, no matter what WWE does as far as Raw and SmackDown goes and where she stays, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. She's also followed, I mentioned this on yesterday's show, she's also followed Kenny Omega, the Young Bucks, and All Elite Wrestling on social media. There was even a tweet. I seen someone tweet yesterday that Sasha Banks' wardrobe could be very, very close to the All Elite colors. Sasha's been wearing that black, white, and gold mix. Those are All Elite colors. Could that have something to do with where her mindset is at? Why would she do that? You know, just like the Revival. Just like the Revival doing the FTR. And them wearing, I believe at one point they were wearing Jacksonville Jaguars colors as well on their tights. You know, it could be something, it could not be anything at all. But those little, you know, jabs through wardrobes, I honestly think that, you know, especially with Sasha Banks and her husband making the wardrobes, he's the seamstress there, that it certainly is something to talk about, and it's certainly interesting to see. So people are going to have their own conclusions about that as well. Either way you look at it, wardrobe or not, Sasha is unhappy, and this just might be one way that she's voicing her frustration with WWE, taking little, small, subtle shots in any way that she could to get on WWE's nerves, but at the same time, it's not really helping her cause in the end at all, because WWE will just add on top of the punishment and just demoralize her any way that they can. How WWE's decisions, in the end, have helped build Sasha Banks' frustration. Dave Meltzer discussed everything about this in depth, and I saved this for last on the Wrestling Observer Live. This was a slow process, but it really came to a head when WWE took the women's tag team titles off of Sasha and Bayley because they had been promised a long future with the championships. He says, and I quote, "Sasha and Bayley, I think in their minds, they were like, we're going to make these belts prestigious. We're going to make these belts something." So the Sasha Banks thing, and a lot of people are going to rip on her for this, but it reminds me so much, whether it's Brett or Rick or any of the following. I know so many people when it comes to championships, it's like, oh, it's a prop, and you take it too seriously. But that's why it works. Meltzer then noted that the WWE gave the women's tag team titles to Sasha Banks and Bayley because the women's division became all about Ronda, and as soon as she came in. So as soon as she came in, everything really changed. It was built around Ronda. And what WWE needed to do to make Ronda the head of her division and build that title up for the plans that they had at WrestleMania. The structure of who was important in WWE's eyes changed, and suddenly Bayley and Sasha Banks were pushed down the card, so they gave them the titles because they were the highest ranking women outside of the main event scene with Charlotte, Becky, and Ronda. He says, and I quote, "Whenever Sasha Banks wins a title, they take it from her immediately and never give her a long reign. Her and Bayley, it was almost like they created the tag team titles. It was kind of like, we'll give them to you because our top women are Becky Lynch, Charlotte, and Ronda. Really, when Ronda came in, it was like Ronda's division, and then Becky got over. And before then, it was sort of like Sasha and Charlotte, who were the stars, and Charlotte stayed up there, but Sasha didn't. Charlotte stayed up there for the reasons I gave you yesterday. Big-breasted blondes. That's exactly what Charlotte is. She may have all the talent in the world. She may be one of the best female professional wrestlers in the world. But WWE has transformed Charlotte into something that they want to be in bed with. Always will want to be in bed with. Charlotte resembles who they want as far as women's wrestling goes, and Charlotte embodies what they want as a diva goes as well. This is the facts. This is the facts. Same thing with Alexa Bliss. She's trending more towards the diva side. Same thing with Carmella. Same thing with Lacey Evans. Lacey Evans is a whole new ball of fucking wax. Lacey Evans is diva-like, but she's got that fucking SJW vibe to her, that woman's right bullshit. WWE's going to be all over that. WWE's going to be all over that, and they're going to force that down your throat. Instead of just leaving it as something that, someone believes in, they're going to push it to the forefront, and that gimmick is going to get nauseating before it even gets up off the ground. WWE has a certain type. Bayley and Sasha have been treated unfairly. After everything that these two, everything that Sasha's been through, with coming in, her match being a historical fact, like I mentioned on yesterday's show. WWE uses it as, a catalyst to tell everybody how important the women's division is. They use it in a video package to highlight where the women's division and the women's evolution got started. It started with Bayley and Sasha. Meanwhile, they've never been given an opportunity to recreate that. Nobody has. There's not been one match outside of Becky and Charlotte at Evolution, like I mentioned, that have been, even in the same ballpark as that match. Yet these women are being held down. WWE pushed their diva fucking initiative to the forefront. They brought in Ronda Rousey, which got them the ESPN spotlight and the mainstream media attention, right? So WWE took someone from the outside to use their name value to build what Sasha and Bayley have done, and Bayley and Sasha have been pushed down and suppressed and treated as an afterthought. Who the fuck wouldn't be upset? Everybody wanted a piece of the Ronda pie. Sasha didn't get it until the very end, and at that point it didn't mean anything. Because Becky and Charlotte were already the women that WWE have programmed you to care about as far as Ronda Rousey goes. Sasha was just there. Bayley, a nothing match on Monday Night Raw. Bayley didn't even get a pay-per-view match against Ronda Rousey. All of this was just mounting and mounting and mounting and mounting. Of course she would be upset. Of course she's going to go out there and voice her frustration. Who wouldn't? Who wouldn't? You build something and you are at the forefront of this fucking evolution in WWE, and then you get pushed to the side for big-breasted blondes and Ronda Rousey, who comes in here, and WWE, when Ronda Rousey comes in here, instead of putting them against legit competition and getting them in the ring with Sasha Banks, now they want to give them Alexa Bliss and Nia Jax, and Alexa Bliss again, and then Nia Jax again. This woman has had enough. When she knows that she could be the Ronda Rousey of a women's division anywhere else in the world. In WWE, she's the Zack Ryder, or she's the Kurt Hawkins of the women's division. She's the EC3 right now of the women's division. And this woman wants nothing more than to wrestle. She's passionate about the business. From people that I know who know Sasha, this woman gives her everything in the ring. She's got a fucking notebook of just thoughts and just wrestling related shit that she documents every time she trains. This woman is ingrained in the fucking business. She wants to go out there and be the best of the best. And WWE is pretty much telling her the best of the best is a big-breasted blonde here and a big-breasted blonde over there and someone who can't wrestle over here. They will make you a champion, but feel lucky that you are a champion under our roof and feel lucky that you are in the history books as far as WWE goes. We don't need you anymore. We used you, and now we got Ronda, Becky, and Charlotte. We main evented the first ever WrestleMania. Women's division is where we want it. We don't need you anymore. So let her go. Let her walk. If you don't need Sasha Banks anymore, let her go. Clearly, what you've shown me on television is that you don't need Sasha Banks anymore. Let her go. Sasha Banks faced Charlotte and Becky Lynch at WrestleMania in Dallas. Remember that? I mentioned that yesterday too. Why didn't WWE give Sasha Banks that moment, but they rather gave it to Charlotte Flair? Meanwhile, Sasha at that point was more of a flag bearer than Charlotte was to the women's division. Snoop Dogg made her entrance. She looked like a fucking megastar. Just 3 years later, she found herself losing the women's tag team titles to two of the worst female wrestlers on the planet in Peyton Royce. I was going to say Becky Lynch. Peyton Royce and Billie Kay. This really added to her frustration, and recent developments have only proven this. I don't know what else to tell you guys, man. I don't really know what else to tell you guys. After everything that has happened, after everything that's been reported after yesterday's video, again, I ask you, do you blame her? The answer is no. Could she have gone about it in a better way? Did she have everyone on her side before the temper tantrum, supposedly, which we don't even know happened? We don't even know if they really happened. But did she have everybody on her side? Yes. Could she have gone about it in a better way? Yes. But what else can this woman do? What else can this woman do when she's literally done everything she could? Her and Bayley. All I know is whatever WWE's mentality is, it is obviously not changing. The superstar shakeup is not going to make a difference. They want her to come back to work. Leave the woman to fucking just sit with her own thoughts and think about what she wants to do. If you value Sasha Banks in any way and you want to keep her, please let her think about what she really wants to do. If you don't find any value in her and if she don't want to be there, let her go. What good is a Sasha Banks to you that doesn't want to fucking be there? Let her go. You clearly have shown me and everybody else that you don't value Sasha and Bayley. So why the fuck are you keeping them employed? Why? I wish her the best in this entire situation, man. I really do. Now, Bayley mentioned, before I get out of here for the intro, Bayley mentioned on Twitter about the superstar shakeup. And this goes perfectly with how, and I'm sure this was a dig at everything that's going on. Bayley took to social media and commented about the impending superstar shakeup. She said since she's been on all three brands, it really doesn't matter where she ends up. Considering her situation, she's unhappy as well, but not as unhappy as Sasha Banks. She says this, and I quote, and I find this hilarious. Been on Raw, SmackDown Live, and NXT in the past month. Does the shakeup even really matter? There's a lot of hidden agenda in that one tweet. Does it really matter where they go? The answer is no. You're going to be treated the same no matter where you go, if it's Raw or SmackDown. Does it really matter? Again, shade at WWE Creative because they don't know what the fuck they're doing. The shakeup doesn't matter because WWE has made it known that they don't give a shit about a brand split. So does it even matter where you end up anyway? Because WWE has treated their superstars like garbage and everybody's been all over the place before WrestleMania anyway. I think it's great. That's a little dig at WWE. Does it even matter? No. No. The more things change, the more they stay the same. That is everything on the Sasha Banks situation, man. As soon as I hear anything at all, I'll either give you an extra, or if we're close enough to next weekend's show, we'll talk about it then. But right now, again, my stance has not changed on where I stand with Sasha Banks. I am 100% in the corner of that woman, and I honestly feel if she wants to walk, it would probably be the best thing for her. She's a household name. WWE doesn't give a shit. But the only thing that they're thinking about right now is, well, if we let her go, where's she going? WWE won't do that. If you want to make the woman happy, if you want to keep the woman employed in your company, give it to Triple H. If you think Sasha is that much of a headache, give her to Triple H. They won't do it because that's what Sasha wants. And what Sasha wants, WWE certainly is not going to abide by. We'll talk about the rest of the news on this Sunday. I got news on why WWE writers are so upset with Vince McMahon. Why Road Dogg asked to step down from the head writer's position on SmackDown Live. WWE possibly changing the pay-per-view schedule to compete with AEW. Yeah, but they're not afraid of All Elite. WWE getting a bad reputation with industry insiders for being an insane workplace. Sami Zayn wrote his own promos on Monday Night Raw, and WWE's teasing a Universal title program for Roman Reigns. All this plus so much more right here on Off the Script.
5, delete! This is mine.
Alive with you. People still Thank you guys so very much for joining me here on episode 269. This is part number 3 for your Sunday, April 14th, 2019. Tomorrow's tax day, folks. Tax day. The day I get fucked. I'm not looking forward to it. And Uncle Sam didn't bring the lube. Not looking forward to it at all. And I'm sorry if I mentioned that to you and you forgot, but I want you to feel the same pain that I will be feeling tomorrow. The life of a YouTuber is not fun on April 15th. I'm just letting you know that. Got a lot to go over today, man. Actually, not a lot. There's not really a lot to talk about, but there are some stories lingering about that we'll go over that paint Vince McMahon in a terrible light as always. And it's always fun to criticize Vince McMahon, man. That's what I do. That's what I do. I love shitting on the old man. I love bringing forth how fucking senile and just fucked up he is. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. I also feel bad for fucking Road Dogg, to be honest with you. We'll talk about that. Also, news on The Undertaker, how he signed a new WWE deal because they didn't want him doing Q&As anymore. There you go. They didn't like The Undertaker just kind of shitting on his mystique. So WWE wanted to sign this guy up, give him some extra cash, just so that they don't go and do Q&As. We'll talk about that as well. Also, I got news on EC3. Did he get a new manager, and will this new manager propel him back to somewhat of a decent run on the main roster? Also, Dana Brooke could be getting a push on Monday Night Raw. I'm sorry, that's not Sasha Banks. Who? Fuck out of here, Dana Brooke. Why she's even employed, man? I'd get rid of that fucking... I would get rid of her quicker than I could fucking breathe. Dana Brooke. What a waste. A complete waste is Dana Brooke. We'll go over all that today right here on Off the Script, man. If you missed anything that I had uploaded on the channel, I didn't include yesterday's thumbnail because I got fucking lazy last night. But if you missed part 1 and part 2 of Off the Script, please go and check them out, man. We talk about a whole variety of things. Road Dogg being demoted from the SmackDown Live head creative writer's position. Sasha Banks' story. She wanted to quit WWE after WrestleMania 35. All of that is in the annotation that you see in the top right corner of your screen. And along with that is 2 AEW videos. Well, 1 AEW video, but 1 Off the Script extra talking about Dean Ambrose and AEW potentially. The latest news on AEW's weekly television deal, all but confirmed for TBS and TNT. Dean Ambrose offered 7 figures by AEW, Raw, SmackDown, and NXT. Man, it's been a busy week. It's been a busy week. I think I've been more busy this week than I was during WrestleMania weekend. So hopefully you guys enjoy all the content, and I'm loving the growth on the channel, man. We're kicking fucking ass this week. So thank you guys so very much. If you missed anything that I uploaded, go and support it. The link is in the annotation that you see in the top right corner of the screen. Drop it down. Everything will be right there for you. Follow me on social media, both on Twitter and Instagram. JD from NY206. That is the same @ for both. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on that bell for all notifications. If you guys are a veteran of the channel, thank you guys so very much. If you're new around here, thank you for coming this way. Don't know what took you so fucking long, but thanks for being here anyway. Really appreciate it. If you enjoy what you hear, man, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on that bell for all notifications. We do it the best out of anybody in the YWC. That is the YouTube wrestling community. Thank you guys so very much. We got a brand new week with the shakeup next week. We'll see how WWE fucks that up. on Monday Night Raw. Patreon. If you guys want to support the podcast through Patreon, patreon.com/JD from NY206. Got to shout out my boys over at Harry's, man. Harry's.com/script. I urge you guys to go. I actually need to shave. It's getting to that point in the week where I got lazy with it and I got to shave. It's getting too long. Harry's.com/script is exactly what I'm going to be using. So I don't know why you guys aren't using. Why should you guys use Harry's? Realistically, I got to ask you a serious question. Why should you guys use Harry's? I'll tell you why. Because Harry's founders were tired of paying for razors that were overpriced, overdesigned. They knew a great shave didn't come from gimmicks like Bobby Lashley and his green eyes, or the Demon, or Lacey Evans. These shitty gimmicks like vibrating heads, flex balls, or handles that look like spaceships. Tactics that the leading brands have used to raise prices for decades. Now, they fixed all that by combining a simple, clean design with quality, durable blades at a fair price. They actually also bought a world-class blade factory in Germany that's been making quality blades for over 95 years. And they've received over 20,000 five-star reviews on Trustpilot and Google alone. Also the why. Why? Harry's replacement cartridges are just $2. That's half the price of a Gillette Fusion Pro Shield. And all Harry's blades come with a 100% quality guarantee. If you don't love your shave, let them know and they will give you a full refund. Join the 10 million plus that have used Harry's and claim your offer today. What do you get? You're probably asking me, JD, what do I get? Well, you're getting a $13 value, trial set, everything you need for a close, comfortable shave right here. You're going to get a razor handle. You got the orange, the evergreen, or the navy blue. You're going to get a 5-blade razor with a lubricating strip. It also includes a trimmer blade, a rich, lathering shave gel bottle, 2 ounce. It's beautiful, man. It soothes, it hydrates, it smells fantastic, and it leaves a nice tingling sensation on your face. And you're also going to get a travel blade cover as well if you're a man on the go, if you're traveling for business, if you're going on vacation, or if you're a regular guy like me who likes it to look pretty on the bathroom sink right next to all my other Harry's products, man. Listeners of Off the Script can redeem their trial set and get everything included here at harrys.com/script. Make sure you go to harrys.com/script and redeem your offer today and let them know that I sent you to help support Off the Script. The Undertaker. The Undertaker signs a new WWE deal that restricts his outside bookings. No longer will you be seeing The Undertaker outside of the WWE. If you're going to StarCast, you'll see him there because he's already booked and they already got everything set up for him as far as that. He's going to be doing what he needs to do and fulfilling his commitments. But after that, after May, forget about it. It's all over. WWE has The Undertaker under lock and key. No more Q&As, no more interviews. They don't want the mystique of the dead man to be ruined, so they locked him up. Dave Meltzer discussed The Undertaker's latest situation on Wrestling Observer Live, where he said The Undertaker signed a new deal with the WWE, which now prevents him from doing those Q&A appearances. Poor Conrad. Whatever it was, Undertaker, he's got some new thing where he can't be, He's going to fulfill his commitments, but I don't think he's going to do new ones because the new deal he signed with WWE restricts him from doing that, and WWE doesn't want him doing it anymore. It was said that The Undertaker created his Twitter account and his Instagram account, which was weird at first, but I think we all kind of grew to understand it, and we didn't really mind it after a short period. He created his Twitter account and his Instagram account and got a booking agent to secure him appearances. And then WWE gave him a big new deal to come back. Everything has changed, and now he is still going to be wrestling for them as they want to keep his mystique intact. Dave Meltzer goes on to say this, and I quote, "The tea leaves. That's what it's about. And sometimes when you read the tea leaves, it's not exactly like that. Essentially, all evidence looks like that." End quote. I like me some tea leaves, but not in the form of a 55-year-old Undertaker. I don't know. Whatever WWE wants to do, they're going to do. They got the money to throw around, clearly. They didn't want The Undertaker over there? Listen, here's a big fat check. Don't go over there. Okay. It was said that it might have looked like The Undertaker was pulling a Brock Lesnar, but WWE went back regardless and decided that they didn't want Undertaker doing Q&A dates, so they arranged a great contract. Quote, great contract. And this contract included a clause saying he can't do any more appearances outside of WWE. Starcast! Oh, man. Man, my allergies are kicking up this time of year. I don't know what it is. Undertaker fought to keep those dates because WWE didn't want him doing them at all. Double or nothing. Oh, man. Man, this fucking bug, man, it's fucking getting to me. So WWE signed him to this big contract. So the compromise is that he's going to be doing signings and photos, but no actual Q&As. There you go. The Undertaker is going to do what he wants to do. You know, honestly, I didn't even give a shit. I really didn't give a shit. It's not like, you know, we grew up with The Undertaker. So where we are right now from where we watched him growing up, and what we think about the industry is ever-changing. You know, there's no mystique to The Undertaker. As soon as he created a Twitter account and an Instagram profile, that mystique was fucking gone. So at this point, whatever the man wanted to do after the fact, I didn't give a shit. You know what I give a shit about? That the man is healthy, that the man is alive, and doing what he wants to do to fucking maintain a living. That's all I give a shit about. I don't give a fuck. I don't want to see him in the ring anymore. But as long as he's happy, healthy, and he's living the life that he wants to live after retirement, that's all I care about. WWE clearly did this because Vince almost had a fucking stroke when The Undertaker was announced for StarCast. Now, that was shocking to everybody. Undertaker at StarCast, isn't he a WWE guy? But Conrad, listen, you can't fault Conrad Thompson for putting together StarCast. He even said it himself. I'm putting together a wrestling convention. I'm going into this with the mindset of, well, if you're going to a wrestling convention, who the fuck do you want to see there? Undertaker's at the top of everybody's list. And if The Undertaker was not really with the WWE or doing anything with the WWE, the man is free to do whatever he wants. WWE got salty because this is a Tony Khan production. This is an All Elite Wrestling production. I understand it from that aspect. But you can't hold the man back from making his money. $60,000 to sit down with fucking clowns and goons for 2 hours? 3 hours? Sign me up. Sign me up. That's more than people make in a fucking year to sit down and sign autographs. WWE, man. Man, they're not intimidated by AEW. Now, I understand. Listen, you know, I may joke that there's an AEW effect, but listen, I understand that. You know, The Undertaker outside of WrestleMania is Vince's greatest creation, and he doesn't want his greatest creation, character-wise, to be mingling with the competitors. He doesn't want to give off that vibe of, well, if The Undertaker's doing it, then why the fuck can't I do it? You know, he doesn't want that. I understand it by the business aspect of it alone. I know. I just find it hilarious that, you know, the WWE is the way that they are. And, again, I don't give a shit what he does. In fact, you know what? Again, with the whole Mystique thing, nobody would have better stories than The Undertaker, man. Imagine what that man could do and sit down and tell us after 30 years of service in this business. You don't think that people would want to willingly pay money to listen to this man fucking talk about everything that he's been through over 30 years? You know, as far as I'm going, you know, the Mystique, I don't really give a shit about the Mystique anymore. The Mystique was gone. As soon as the streak died, the Mystique was over for me. And I still believe to this very day the streak should have never died. That match was terrible with Brock Lesnar. Now, granted that The Undertaker got a fucking concussion and he went to the hospital immediately after the match was over, I don't think the streak should have ever died. Lesnar didn't even want to end the streak. Vince wanted to end the streak, and I'll say it till I'm blue in the face. The streak died because that was the first year WWE was on the WWE Network. They wanted that shock and awe value. Oh, look, you're not signed up for the network? Oh, here's the streak. Sacrificed it to the almighty network. That's what happened. I don't know. We'll never know. We'll never know. It created a moment. It certainly created one of the fucking unbelievable WrestleMania moments of our generation. Nothing's even going to come close to that. But as far as the mystique, it died that night. I would love to hear The Undertaker speak. I really would. I'd go to a road show. I'd go to listen to a podcast with the man speaking. The mystique is the character. His career is over. Let Mark Calloway now speak. What, is he going to stay silent forever? What is he, a fucking gnome? Or a monk? Come on. A gnome. Where the fuck get a gnome from? I was looking up beers and I seen Omegang Gnomegang. And something popped up on my Facebook memories. I like to take pictures of my beer. Excuse me. Took a picture of this beer many, many years ago. And it's a Christmas beer. Gnomes, Christmas. Yeah, whatever. But the simple fact is, The Undertaker, what is he going to live in seclusion his entire life after his wrestling career? No. It's just fucking ridiculous to even conceive. But WWE is the way they are, man. They signed him to a contract. You're not going to be seeing him. So get your fill of The Undertaker now. Double or Nothing weekend. After that, he is not doing anything else as far as signings and Q&As go. So WWE owns The Undertaker character for however many years. And he'll be doing WWE-related things only. Ronda Rousey. When WWE expects Ronda Rousey to return. Ronda Rousey is actually getting surgery on her broken hand on Tuesday. We don't know if she's going to be on Monday Night Raw or Monday with the shakeup. I presume not. She wasn't even on Monday Night Raw following WrestleMania, which was just bizarre to me, being that she just lost the main event of the show. I don't know why we didn't see Ronda Rousey. But fans are wondering when Ronda Rousey will already make a return. WWE has an idea of when they would like her to come back. But we all just have to wait and see when she actually does come back. Fightful and Sean Ross Sapp are reporting that WWE officials are hopeful that she'll return late this year or early next year, though she's given no firm indication of her plans. End quote. This doesn't really give a very clear timeline for her eventual return, but the more important part to take away from this is that there is hope of her coming back eventually. Of course she's coming back. She signed with the WWE through 2 more WrestleManias. The woman will be back. Can we let her go get surgery and get healed before she comes back and does what she needs to do? Ronda has done what she needed to do. That's it. We got everything we needed out of Ronda Rousey. Phase 1. Phase 2? Now we'll all wonder what she's going to do when she comes back. She did what she needed to do. WWE used her to the best of her ability. She had one of the best first years in the history. Some people are saying she's the best first year ever in WWE, just based on what she has done for the women's division. There was a lot that was sacrificed to get her in the position that she's in. You held everybody back. The title was pretty much held hostage, but for what she did, it ended up working out in the end. Now the division is stronger for it. Now they have to follow up on making this what we all want. A strong division that could thrive without Ronda Rousey. We'll see if WWE could do that. I don't think they can. It's previously reported that Ronda Rousey's future with the company is totally up in the air. It's totally up to her. She stated in the past that she doesn't need WWE's money. She's correct. She wants to start a family with Travis Brown. So she's going to do what she wants to do. Rousey, I did mention, is scheduled for surgery this Tuesday to repair her broken hand. So that definitely needs to be corrected first before anything else and before anybody starts talking about a return. She will be back, but I wish people would get it through their heads that, Rousey did what she needed to do. Phase 1. It's the best way for me to put it. Phase 1. Phase 1 of Ronda in WWE. Complete success. Now we'll talk about Phase 2, but, I wish WWE had given us a little bit more hope and faith that with Ronda leaving, the division would be in good hands with Becky. I don't think that's the case, and I don't really trust WWE to deliver on those expectations. I honestly think they will drop the ball without Ronda Rousey being there. That's just my opinion. We'll see what happens. And Ronda, I just hope she gets better, and we see an even bigger impact on when she comes back the second time. It's going to be very interesting to see how WWE uses her for a second time. Clearly, that main event at WrestleMania left doors open. Ronda could come back and challenge Becky Lynch for the title because she really wasn't pinned correctly. We'll see what happens. WWE definitely has an out there if they want to include Ronda back in plans immediately for the, hopefully then, undisputed Women's Championship of WWE. Moving on with the rest of the news here, man. WWE writers have a shit job. I would never want to write for WWE, especially after you listen to this. It was noted in the Observer, the newsletter portion of the Observer, that Road Dogg would make trips to WWE headquarters to take part in meetings that last until late in the evening into the morning. This was exhausting for Road Dogg, and he was certainly feeling it. But the frustration really came when Vince would change all of their ideas on the day of the show after so much work and time, sleepless nights had been put into SmackDown's creative writing process. Oh man, I don't even know how to just attack that. In fact, Road Dogg wasn't the only one growing frustrated with Vince McMahon, because a lot of people are getting really irritated about how McMahon was running SmackDown Live. Dave Meltzer expanded on this with a quote on the Wrestling Observer Radio, where he explained Road Dogg's frustrations even more. He says, and I quote, "The show's being ripped apart and then having ideas being taken out of context." End quote. Meltzer and Wrestling Observer newsletter co-host, or Wrestling Observer Radio co-host rather, Garrett Gonzalez, noted that they question any writer who tells them their dream job is to work for WWE. It is not an easy place to function and can be full of quick changes, which essentially mean wasted work because it takes hours, if not days, to hammer out an angle, only to have Vince McMahon come in with his larger-than-life persona and change everything, wasting everything you did in that creative meeting in Stamford, Connecticut. Why? This is all I'm going to... I don't even know how to say this. I don't even know how to attack this. I really don't. Like, we all know he needs to go. If not go completely, take a major step back. Who's going to fucking challenge the boss? Who's going to tell Vince that, listen, dude, calm the fuck down? Nobody's going to tell him that. Nobody. I just don't understand how he thinks his ideas are better than however many fucking creative writers are there. In actuality, it's just common sense. 12 brains are better than one. And it's not even the fact that Vince is taking the ideas from however many writers and changing things here a little bit, altering, this is what you could do. I love it, but this is what you could do better. No, Vince is taking all these ideas from all of these men and women, working late hours in Stamford, Connecticut, and then taking the entire fucking idea that they had, or ideas that they had, and changing everything completely. It's pretty much him taking the fucking script, ripping it up, and writing it all on his own the day of the fucking show. All I have to say is this. Does Vince like losing money? I don't think so. So what I'm hearing here is however many writers, it's been rumored that he's got 30 fucking writers between Raw and SmackDown. You're paying 30 fucking people to write your show, and then you rip up everything that they come up with to fucking appease your own agenda. 30 people you're paying, what the fuck are you paying them for? Why are you signing a check to go to these people when all you're going to do is act as if you are the only member of the creative team? I don't get it. You figured in his old age, he wants things to be running smoothly to where he doesn't have to stress. This is why he hired all these people. But no, he wants to make everything difficult for himself, and I guess Vince doesn't care that we all look at him like some fucking idiot. What a dumb-ass mentality. I never understood that. How are you going to go and be 74 years old, right? The boss at WWE, at World Wrestling Entertainment. You don't want your life to be, I could kick back and fucking put my feet up on the desk and, just take it easy. I got everybody doing everything for me. But no, he wants to do everything himself, and he doesn't know how fucking damaging of a mentality that is to the company. And it shows! Everything you see on SmackDown and Raw is a product of Vince McMahon. Everything. If WWE had NXT running solely on Triple H's ideas, where the fuck would they be? Not where they are now. That's why he's got his entire team sitting down, planning, executing, putting people in places. I don't know, man. I don't know. It's clear as day. You watch these shows and you see the quality of the shows just based off his actions. That is it. You see it. Now you're hearing it. And now you know why. When you watch Raw and SmackDown Live, and when you realize that the show is fucking terrible, you know why now. I'm surprised Road Dogg lasted this long. Possible change to the pay-per-view schedule. WWE changes possible pay-per-view schedule to compete with AEW. You know, I read this story and it really got me wondering, there's got to be a reason for the obvious change that we've seen for May. Now, this is before they moved the Saudi Arabian show to June. There was going to be 2 pay-per-views in May. I don't know when this move occurred, but clearly something forced them to do this change. Like I'm a fucking robot. Charlotte Flair, Lacey Evans. Anyway, Dave Meltzer mentioned during Wrestling Observer Radio how WWE moved Money in the Bank to May, and this might be a sign that the company is looking to compete with AEW in a matter of speaking to take some attention away from the Double or Nothing event. Could be possible. In fact, I would not be shocked at all if that's the reason. They moved Money in the Bank up this year for a reason. Is that the reason? You never know. You'll never know. I think it probably was, Money in the Bank is a stronger show, so why would you want to do that change? Because coming right out of WrestleMania, they usually go with that 1 month where they're like, well, we don't want to do a big pay-per-view because we got Money in the Bank in June. And June's a better time for that show. But yeah, they're going with Money in the Bank in May. Now, usually it's like a Backlash or an Extreme Rules. Now we got Money in the Bank in May? Why? I don't really understand it. So WWE moved this with absolutely no explanation. No explanation was given. Double or Nothing is on May 25th, and Money in the Bank is scheduled for May 19th. This might not be a coincidence because WWE has historically held the big event in June. Money in the Bank has been in June for as long as it's been its own standalone pay-per-view. Every summer, you look forward to Money in the Bank. It's the one pay-per-view that they put in the middle between WrestleMania and SummerSlam. They eventually made it a huge destination pay-per-view. Last year, they tagged along TakeOver with it. And now it's in May. For no reason, no explanation at all. Now, I don't understand. Actually, it's been in June and July since 2010. So, where they say there is smoke, there's fire? Absolutely. If there was a reason as to why they moved Money in the Bank, Double or Nothing on May 25th, and them trying to steal some thunder away from May 25th is absolutely my number one reason. Now, I don't know what they do for that show. WWE is definitely going to stack that show. So, all depending on what they do as far as creative goes and what they book on that show, you'll see how competitive they really are with Money in the Bank as far as Double or Nothing goes. We'll see. We'll see what happens, but I'm with Meltzer on this. I honestly think that they moved it after 9 fucking years. Happening in the summer, now they moved it to May. Now, not even the Double or Nothing situation. I hope that whatever they got in June is just that Saudi Arabian show, and that is it. And then you'll have a July pay-per-view at the beginning of July. We don't need 2 major pay-per-views, 2 big shows, 2 5-6 hour shows in the same month. You don't need it. But knowing WWE, that's exactly what they'll do, and they'll fuck up all creative writing, and the shows will be terrible. Because they go through that mid-summer lull onto SummerSlam. We don't start to see SummerSlam being built until 3 weeks before SummerSlam. Meanwhile, SummerSlam should realistically be built coming out of WrestleMania, starting around June. May, June, late May, early June. SummerSlam should be in full fucking effect for creative. Of course not. They'll wait till 2 or 3 weeks before SummerSlam and then put together a 17-match, 8-hour SummerSlam show, which I'm not going to, by the way. I don't envy anybody going to that show in Toronto. Yeah, 8 hours of fucking SummerSlam. When has SummerSlam been good in the last couple of years? I can't remember. Awful. AEW? Yeah, I think that's the reason. Speaking of the Vince McMahon creative writing process, where he takes everything that they do and rip it up just to fucking write it himself, WWE is actually getting a bad reputation for being an insane workplace as far as the wrestling industry goes. Dave Meltzer tagged this along with the Vince McMahon story, and he noted on Wrestling Observer Radio that he knows someone in the writing community who would be a great asset to WWE and is looking for work. Meltzer said that he suggested to his friend that he should try WWE. But his friend's response, was not positive at all. This writer knows a lot of people who work for the company, and he said that was a hard no due to the company's insane practice. So this guy told Meltzer, not a chance. He's like, and I quote, he's like, you do realize that's the worst place to work. It's like, well, I know it's kind of weird. And he goes, no, the reputation is there that it's insane. It's an absolutely insane work environment. This week, it's kind of like we got that theme, whether it's Robert Evans or Brian James or Sasha Banks, even though each story is completely different. But, I mean, you could go up and down the line this year about who's unhappy. Look at everybody that's unhappy. I don't need to reiterate who's unhappy. Everybody has voiced their frustration about WWE since January. The Hall of Fame, and it's just like, it's like me watching it from afar. It's all normal because it's like I know it. That is what it is. If you're not someone like me that lives in this world and you look at it from afar and you go like, they fired the writer because he wrote a speech to thank Vince McMahon, but he got it all the way to the teleprompter and then they didn't fire him, he actually quit. The point is he got yelled at and berated. He was berated and he decided to say, fuck this, I'm quitting. Okay? End quote. Meltzer went on to then say, then everyone makes fun of it a half an hour later in the DX speech and they do their whole anti-AEW thing. It's like, do you do this anywhere else? End quote. WWE did have a very eventful WrestleMania weekend, to say the least. Now we will have to wait and see what is the next controversy and who the next superstar is to voice their opinion about wanting to quit WWE. And again, people were like, oh, JD, you'd sell your soul to work for WWE. No, I wouldn't. No, I would never put myself through this situation. Never. Especially a creative writer? No way. Absolutely no way. NXT is a different story. I mentioned this time and time again. NXT seems like it's a completely different company compared to WWE. Put me down in Orlando. Put me next to Percy Watson and a Mauro Ranallo. I'm fine. Give me a position down there at the PC. Whatever. That's fine. Main roster? No way. No way. Absolutely no. Sami Zayn. I'm glad he's back. Sami Zayn, he came back and lost to Finn Balor on Monday Night Raw, which made no sense. You know, there's no working towards title shots. Just came out of nowhere. He was off for 9 months, 10 months, getting rehabilitation, repairing 2 shoulder blades. Comes back and get an instant intercontinental title match. Again, I question WWE, and nobody seems to fucking question anything. I don't know why. Mark Henry revealed during the Boston Open Radio podcast that Sami Zayn not only wrote his own promo on the Raw After Mania, but Sami Zayn has also done, what he says he has nothing but momentum this time around to do great things, says Mark Henry. So not only does he write his own promos, or wrote his own promo after Monday Night Raw, but he also has momentum this time around in his new run, his refreshed run in WWE after surgery. Mark Henry says this, and I quote, on fire. That was not written for him. They said, Sammy, how do you feel about this situation? I got this. And he let the world have it. And when I say the world, I mean the world of wrestling from people that sit in the stands. You have been judged, sir. Sammy lets you know how he feels. I walked up to him and I said, man, who the hell are you? Who are you? Where has this guy been all this time? He said, Mark, I'm not holding back no more. I said, don't. Please don't hold back. There are people that can wrestle their ass off, but I don't have to because they can get that microphone and they can get more done in 3 minutes than people can get done in a 20-minute match. Sammy, if you're listening, do your thing. I want to see it. The fans want to see it. They clapped in the middle of that promo because they were like, yeah, you're right. Wait a minute, are you talking to me? So at the end of it, he confused them, says Mark Henry. Sami Zayn has a ton of ability, and WWE really hasn't tapped into what potential Sami Zayn has at all yet. As his character continues in Vince McMahon's company, perhaps we will start seeing more instances of him writing his own promos to add a unique slant to his character that sets him apart from the rest of the locker room. This is something that should be instilled in everybody. Why this is only happening for some and not everybody, I don't understand. I don't know. Maybe it's too much work. Maybe Vince doesn't trust his own talent. I don't know. But nobody knows their character better than the man or woman playing the character. I don't know why you can't write your own promo, take it to an agent, get it approved by Vince. If it needs to be changed, alter it here and there. I don't understand why more people aren't writing their own promos. Because if they do, it's going to sound like Sammy, and it's going to sound genuine and real. And it's not going to sound forced and just unnatural. I wish that was a thing. Now, there are rumors, we don't know if it's true or not, that Elias writes his own promos, and when Bray Wyatt was on TV, that he was writing his own promos. John Cena, they give him bullet points, he goes and does what he wants because it's John Cena. They didn't really script for The Rock or Stone Cold or guys like that, because how the fuck could you? How could you? I wish this was something that was an evolving thing in WWE, with the fact that, you got your own talent. Not everybody, but guys like this and guys who can really fucking talk, have them go out there and write their own promo. How many of you were interested in what Sami Zayn brought to the table? I was. Now, everything that he mentioned there, he's talking about people like me and you and guys like, Sal Monster and everybody that's been vocal on social media about how fucking terrible this product is. He's talking about us. He's talking about the Cronins, and he's talking about, guys like me in the community that are very forceful with their opinion and very truthful in the way that they deliver. This is what we need to do. Our voices are all we have. If something is right, we'll praise it. If something is wrong, we'll shit on it. And WWE, this is a prototypical WWE fucking gimmick. Who are you? You guys are in the stands and you're judging something that you don't know, and everything that Sammy said. You think you're the voice of the voiceless. Your voice means nothing. This is the way WWE, they're for the fans, but they're using Sami Zayn to get their truth across in someone that we all respect. So how the fuck are we going to hate it if it's coming from someone that we actually like? It's genius. It may be throwing us all under the bus, but it's fucking genius. And Sammy needs something. Sammy needs something for us to invest in. Plain, boring, vanilla, coming out and fucking dancing around to ska music, Sami Zayn ain't gonna do the job, no matter how good he is. So the fact that they gave him a gimmick and the time to cut a promo that was riddled with truth, coming from someone, like I said, that we all love and want to see succeed, it's a brilliant move. It's a brilliant move. And you know what? No matter how many times Sami Zayn is going to throw me and everybody else in the community like me under the bus, I'm going to enjoy it. I'm not going to change what I do here. I know what I do here makes an impact, and I know what I do here is right. I know what I'm saying is the way about the product. But coming from someone like Sammy, who I wanted to see succeed all these years, I'm going to be for it. I think it's great. I just wish WWE would allow more people like Sammy, people who are great on the microphone, to kind of live their gimmick. Don't script them. Don't hide them behind a fucking writer who don't know who Sami Zayn is. Let him go out there, write his own promos, look over it, proofread it. If it's good, boom, you're on TV. I think it's great. What I don't think is great is the fact that you guys haven't signed up for Audible. audibletrial.com/offthescript. JD, what's Audible? Well, Audible is the best audiobook service in the world. And why do you need it? I'll tell you why, man. Because you're going to get 30 days free of their service and one free audiobook of your choice. Yes, a free audiobook and 30 days free of Audible. audibletrial.com/offthescript. Go and sign up today. Listen to me and do the following. Download the app, whether on Android or iPhone. Download the app. It's free. Then you're going to go to audibletrial.com/offthescript. You're going to sign up. It's free. You're not going to be billed. You're going to enter in your information and everything that they need from you. You're going to go on there and you're going to put all the information in and you're going to be on your way to Audible's service for 30 days free. Then you're going to choose a free audiobook and you got a free offer just for listening to Off the Script, a lot of which are wrestling related. There are over 200,000 audiobooks to choose from. So you have one choice out of 200,000, man. It's a lot of choice. Take your time and pick whatever you want. It's free. Here's the best part. If you guys don't like Audible, if you feel like, Audible's not for me, but I thank you for the free audiobook anyway. If you guys want to cancel the service in that 30-day grace period, you can cancel anytime you want, and you will not be billed at all. You get to keep your audiobook no matter what. audibletrial.com/offthescript. Go and sign up. Support the show for basically just sitting there listening to me yell and rant and bitch and moan about WWE right here on Off the Script. Moving on with the news, man. We got a few more stories before we get the hell out of here. Roman Reigns, by the way, I want to make it very well known to everybody. It is okay. It is A-okay to boo Roman Reigns. The man no longer has cancer. It's okay. Believe me, it's okay. It's okay. You're not gonna be punished. You're not gonna be exiled. You're not gonna be given a lash on the wrist. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. It's okay. Believe me. Papa JD says it's okay. Boo Roman Reigns to your heart content, please. I urge you. It's okay. Moving on here. Roman Reigns. We knew this was coming. Right? Roman Reigns and the Universal title. We knew it was going to happen. After yesterday's report of Reigns and Corbin being his next feud, which, it sucks. And, man, I'm still looking for them fucking, those little fucking people that sit in the back and tell you what's going right and what's going wrong on the show. Those focus groups. Where are they at? Focus groups. Yeah, Corbin and Roman Reigns is really focusing on giving Monday Night Raw what it needs. But Roman Reigns and Baron Corbin, no matter how fucking terrible it was, it would keep him away from the main event. He would eventually get there, but, every month that goes by that he's away is a success to me. So Roman Reigns, now, WWE is teasing a Universal title program for Roman Reigns. Now, this comes from a report. I don't know who the source is, but Roman Reigns came back from leukemia, blah, 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 blah. You all know the deal. Now it seems that WWE is hinting at something very big for Reigns. Reigns versus Corbin is the company's current direction, but Roman Reigns might have a detour into the Universal title in the meantime. This comes from WWE.com. They released a teaser for Raw this week, which included some verbiage that makes it seem like Roman Reigns could be targeting Seth Rollins. They say, and I quote, "Will Reigns look to challenge his Shield brother, Seth Rollins, for the Universal Championship, the very title he was forced to relinquish in October? Or does he have another conquest in mind?" End quote. Again, whoever writes these things for WWE.com is by far and away the cheesiest motherfucker I have ever seen. Now, we'll have to wait and see what happens on Monday Night Raw. We don't even know if Reigns is going to be on Monday Night Raw. He may very well go to SmackDown Live and ruin Tuesday nights. We'll have to wait and see. But Reigns in the Universal title program, now, please, we don't need that. Please spare us, because anything having to do with Reigns, period, is boring. Him as the Universal Champion? Nobody wants that. You want to see declining ratings? Go ahead. Do it. And then you'll question, why is Monday Night Raw failing? We just did a shakeup. Look at Reigns. He is the fucking answer to all your problems. EC3 gets a new manager, possibly. EC3 walked out with Drake Maverick as his manager. Now, this might be the first time that the duo have appeared together on WWE TV. They were paired together as Ethan Carter III and Rockstar Spud on Impact before they made their jump to WWE. Hopefully this is a sign that WWE has realized that there is some potential in EC3, and a push on the cards is not far behind. I don't know. You know what I like about this most? EC3's dead to me anyway, so whatever they do, they wasted so much time that I don't even give a shit about. You know what I give a shit about most in this situation? It's the fact that EC3 is now with Drake Maverick, potentially, and that Drake Maverick with this move is probably not going to be associated with AOP after they come back and get reset, hopefully. I don't know what they'll do, but I would like to see AOP with a new manager, and I never realized that, I never really was on board with them getting rid of Paul Ellering. Maybe they'll bring back Paul Ellering. One could only dream. You know, everybody wanted AOP to succeed. They were pretty decent on NXT, but when they got to the main roster, nothing. As soon as they took Paul Ellering away from them on night one, you knew they were doomed to fail. Doomed to fail. EC3 with Drake Maverick. Listen, whatever gets the guy on fucking TV, hopefully after the shakeup, he gets some momentum built underneath him, because if not, I don't know. Another guy who's just going to wait his contract out and go to AEW. He'd be perfect for AEW. See what happens. Finally, guys, I'm going to get the hell out of here. Short episode today. Talked about what we needed to talk about. Lots of news this week. And just a very busy week on the channel in general. Dana Brooke. Yes, catering MVP. Dana Brooke. Master of the fucking knife and fork in catering. She places the dishes and sets the silverware out and folds the napkins so beautifully. Dana Brooke. Dana Brooke could be getting a push on Monday Night Raw. A push where? A push to the front of the line in catering? Or a push legitimately on the show that we see more of her? Yeah. Please add another segment to the show that I'll just walk away from my TV. Dave Meltzer noted on the Wrestling Observer Radio that Dana Brooke could be getting a push on Monday Night Raw because of her rising popularity on Twitter. It was noted that Dana Brooke appears to be in line for a push. She was supposed to face Charlotte Flair at WrestleMania last year, but Vince McMahon pulled the plug on that. Not hard to see why. Yeah, Charlotte and Asuka. Instead of, then we'll get Charlotte and Dana Brooke. Oh my God, man. Yeah, let's go into WrestleMania with Dana Brooke in our Women's Championship match. Yeah, sure. Woman should have never even been pulled from NXT. So Vince McMahon pulled the plug on that. Perhaps as another year's gone by, they are willing to give Dana Brooke another shot. Dana Brooke's been on fucking TV. What has she proved to me that is going to show me and everybody else watching that she's gotten better? She hasn't. She got one fucking move, a one-trick pony. She does that backflip into the elbow, and that's it. Woman can't fucking wrestle. I haven't seen nothing from Dana Brooke at all. Now we'll have to wait and see how WWE decides to book Dana Brooke from this point on. But with another superstar shakeup happening, who the fuck knows where she's going to end up? You know where she should end up? NXT. Put her on NXT. Give her to NXT UK. She wants to fucking work. Have her work with some of the best down there before you actually do something with her on the main roster. In all honesty, that's what you need to do with Dana Brooke. You're not going to get better by working with the fucking talent on Monday Night Raw in the position and the situations that they put her in. 1 to 2 minutes here, 1 to 2 minutes there. That's not going to build Dana Brooke up as a fucking credible threat in anybody's eyes. And nobody's going to see Dana Brooke and say, man, she deserves a title match. Man, she's putting on great matches. Bring her down to NXT. Put her in NXT UK. Have her work. Have her go to the PC and train. Feels like everybody that goes to the main roster gets lazy. They don't build on anything that they built on in NXT. They get complacent. Dana Brooke is a product of complacency. She's content with what she's doing. Yeah, she wants to be pushed because she's wasted away for 3 years. That's why she wants to be pushed. Who wouldn't? You gotta work for it. You showed me nothing. Go down to NXT, fucking go wrestle to your heart's desire, and then maybe somebody will think differently about you. That's the best way to use Dana Brooke, even with Sasha Banks. You don't want to use Sasha Banks on the main roster, like I mentioned. Give her to Triple H. Give them to Triple H. He'll take care of them. He'll build them back up. You know, a couple squirts of WD-40 over here, you'll be good to go. Come on. Start using NXT in the shakeup and start utilizing the, NXT brand as a way to call up. Why can't you call back down? I mention this time and time again. Hopefully they do that on Monday and Tuesday, but I'm not holding out hope for WWE to make the superstar shakeup important at all. I'm getting out of here, guys. Thank you so very much. We talked about what we talked about today, and that's all I got for this weekend's Off the Script, man. Follow me on social media, at JD from NY206. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on that bell for all notifications, both Twitter and Instagram, by the way, on social media. JD from NY206. Patreon.com/JD from NY206 if you guys want to support the podcast on Patreon. And if you missed this week's videos, man, ton of content for you guys. Raw, SmackDown, NXT, 2 off-the-script extras, one with the AEW TV contract, and Dean Ambrose being offered 7 figures by AEW. Also, off the script this weekend, talking about the entire Sasha Banks situation and Road Dogg being demoted from head creative writer on SmackDown Live. Plus, you got today, man. Ton of content for you guys right there on the channel. Make sure you all go check it out in the annotation that you see in the top right corner, man. I am getting out of here. Thank you guys so very much for all your support. I will see you all for the shakeup tomorrow night on Monday Night Raw and SmackDown Live, respectively. We'll go over it. We'll detail and document everything that happens with the shakeup, and hopefully it's a good one. But I'm not holding my breath. Thank you guys so very much. Hit that thumbs up, and I will see you all right back here with a brand new week of content for WWE. Talk to you guys later.